It looks like an English forest, doesn't it?
I don't go in many English forests. You know, I'm very urban, me. I don't really do forests, no.
Oh, hilarious. That is a Judithism.
You don't really do forests either. I've never seen you in a forest or heard you go, oh, I'm lovely, I'm going yomping in a forest this week.
Well, I have been in forests when the children were young. In fact, my nan was very fond of a forest or two. So as children, we were forced to walk through forests on many occasions. Welcome to Own It, Your Business and Your Life, with Nicola Cairncross and Judith Morgan. In this podcast, we're going to cover everything you need to embrace to become a successful entrepreneur, marketing, money, and much, much more. How to create a business doing just what you love. How to own it, your business and your life. This one will be fast, funny, feisty, and very lively. So sit back and enjoy the show. Morning, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm extremely good. The weather is glorious here right now.
Cool.
Yes, it's like the summer of 76 all over again.
Well, I don't think it's as hot as that, is it?
It is pretty hot. Do you want me to pop onto the balcony and get an exact reading?
No, because we've had a heat wave here and I'm sunburned, and I've got so burned in the sun on Saturday. It's Wednesday today. I haven't been allowed out in the garden since.
Chloe was, my niece was saying everyone came to work but like lobster red on Monday. Why do Brits do it?
We call it in my family lobby. I'm a lobby, short for lobster, yeah.
So it's like everyone sort of goes out in the sun and just totally forgets that they're going to get burnt if they don't put something on.
Yes, or rather you lose track of time, or you can't feel it burning while you're out there, or you think it's England so you don't need any suntan lotion or something like that.
We've heard the weather's going to be rubbish for when we arrive back on Saturday for the week onward from there.
Cooler, 15, 16, something like that. But last week we were sort of 23, I think. So,
nice.
Yeah, you'll be all right in 15 and 16.
I wonder if our listeners like our little weather chats at the beginning of this. It's almost like we do it to warm ourselves up.
Well, I think they have to remember that we're Brits, and that's what Brits like to do first, talk about the weather. Or
even, I went to lunch with a bunch of Brits on Sunday, and they spent quite a lot of time talking about the Kalamata Ring Road and comparing the benefits of Carrefour over Lidl, over Practica.
Well, it's just a social greasing of the wheels to get you into the conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, and after which they moved on to the water tank position, because some of them have been without water for 3 or 4 days. Literally, you know, the block of 4 houses down from us, because we're on a main that comes from up the mountain, and they're on a main that comes down from another mountain, and their main has sprung a leak, so they've been without water, which must be a bit grim.
Yes, no, I would find that grim, especially if your weather's hot.
Yes, exactly. So, they've been popping to each other's houses for showers and things. I don't want you to think that my neighbours are an uncleanly bunch, especially as some of them listen to this.
Well, when I lose my water, I'm always much more concerned about getting a shower than I am about drinking it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can drink anything else, can't you? In the old days, in the Viking days, or the Last Kingdom days, they used to drink ale, didn't they, instead of water?
Did they?
Yeah. So what's your week been like then?
Well, it's Easter holiday-ish. My clients who are mothers, I've seen them signing off social media and newsletters and having 2 weeks off, so it's quite quiet and in a good way. Monday morning, I got up early to go and do my MOT, only to discover when I got there that the man who does the MOTs had called in sick, so I'm going back on Easter Saturday weekend. That annoyed me a bit.
Yeah.
I don't think the man who does MOTs can be off sick, because if I didn't have a margin between me and the date when it's due, I would have been illegal.
Yeah, and also they should have called you to tell you rather than let you schlep up there.
Well, interestingly, I was the 9 o'clock appointment, and I got there at 8:30, as is my wont. And I thought, well, I could sit in the car for half an hour. I could go in and tell them I'm early. Good job I didn't sit there for half an hour to go in to find that the man was called in sick. And if I'd been the receptionist, who's a bloke in an MOT station, I would have looked at the reg numbers in the car park, and there were only about 6 of us, and come out and told me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, sorted. Hairdresser coming today. It's all that kind of thing. MOT, hairdresser, sunburn, heat wave, Easter holidays. It's nice, actually. It's lovely. And big full moon last night. I love moony stuff, me.
Yeah, there was a big full moon in Greece as we walked home from Pefko Taverna.
Yeah, lovely. I saw some pictures of Pefko Taverna online taken last night, and I thought, I bet they're in there. I had a good look for you, and I couldn't see you.
Oh, well, we were there. We were right in the middle, so I can't believe you didn't see us.
Well, there you go.
It's one of the flights. It was a big day for the flights arriving yesterday, apparently. So yeah, but lots of people who've got holiday homes here are turning up now, and there's lots of exclamations and hugging and oh my god, how haven't seen you for ages kind of chat going on. But yes, I went down to Write Club, my writing group that
yes.
I invited to, and honestly, you will so love this. There's a technical part where they talk about grammar. And we were given, I'm not joking, 2 A4 pages about how to use a comma properly.
Oh, lovely.
I know. I felt I might have to scan it.
Oh, lovely.
I know.
Oh, woo. I'm
right,
quite excited. Oh, yeah, I'm thrilled about that.
I've learned about things I never heard of before, like coordinating conjunctions and 2 independent clauses. But she gave such really good examples. You were able to understand, use the comma after a dependent clause that starts a sentence, non-essential clauses. Hang on, let me just pick. Oh, they took a whole section on the Oxford comma with an outline around.
Oh, I love the Oxford comma. It's a new thing of mine. I rather overuse it now just because I can.
Yes, they came up. Do you want me to read you the example which the lady came up with?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, the Oxford comma is used before the words and, or in a list of 3 or more things, also known as the serial comma. Its aficionados, of which Judith you are one, says it clarifies sentences in which things are listed. The sentences, I love my parents, comma, Lady Gaga and Humpty Dumpty, and I love my parents, comma, Lady Gaga, comma, and Humpty Dumpty are a little different. Without a comma, it looks like the parents in question are, in fact, Lady Gaga and Humpty Dumpty.
Exactly. I mean, I'm only an aficionado of this since I studied that writing course with whatever his name is, Joshua Fields Milburn, because I didn't know what it was till then. In fact, a bit like an English muffin, the Oxford comma was brought to my attention by Americans.
Wow.
And you and I shared one on Facebook the other day about she was the not wife and mother. Was it mother? It was mother and wife or something. Basically, it said she was both his wife and his mother because there was not a comma. Do you remember?
Oh, that's right. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And anyway, 2 pages of it. I'm going to bring it home, scan it, and send it to you because I think you'll like it a lot.
Yes, I think I will. Yeah, and still my beating heart. I'm quite excited about it.
Anyway, I had a lovely time, and they're all meeting in 2 weeks' time, which I'm not going to be there, obviously, but I have been requested to submit some writing for constructive critique.
And what did they reckon to your George Clooney synopsis?
Yeah, they quite liked it. Oh, no, they haven't seen that yet. But I tell you what we did do. We did a bit of free writing where somebody pulled out a little bunch of cubes, and each cube had a little picture on it, and you had to just write for 5 minutes about what the picture on the cube stimulated in you. And that was a nice exercise. I enjoyed that one. So I wrote a whole page in 5 minutes, and they thought that was quite nice. Obviously they would say that. But I was astonished at the quality of the writing. They really are very, very good, all of them in different ways, and really enjoyed it. So I'll be going back.
Excellent.
What's fueled your fire this week then?
Oh, I've had a really nice week at work this week. I've had a real sense of achievement with my work. I've helped a lot of people feel better. I've done a lot of variety in my pay what you want and ad hoc consultations. I've had fabulous feedback from my most famous client about how the work we're doing together is important. I've helped in the last sort of 4 business days. I've helped 4. I did 3 yesterday. 4 women. Saturday and Tuesday I did 4 calls. UK, France, USA, UK. One of the ladies sent me the most fabulous testimonial after it, even though she's a regular. And Vanya, one of my clients, and I are doing this experiment where we're reminding everybody every day on our pages and our profiles what we do for a living, and that we're not just on Facebook for the good of our health. And both of us have seen more people book into our diaries for what she calls a discovery call.
Really, that's interesting. We might,
including someone in my own diary, quite high profile, actually.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
So tell us how this is working.
Well, quite often when I try to persuade my clients to do something that I think might be good for them, I do a pact to do it with them to encourage them. A bit like, you're more likely to go to the gym with a friend. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we just said that instead of just being nice on Facebook all day long, on your page or your profile or your group, whatever it was, you would put a reason why they might book in a discovery call.
Okay, so you'd take, if, for example, if you were sharing a video, you might say a little bit about why the video, you think people should watch it, and then go on to.
No, not necessarily. No. You would write. You just remind people what you're there for, not bluntly, but you're not just not. It's just less subtle. So mine is a series of. Because my Small Business Big Magic group has got 3 component parts. 1, the secret Facebook group. 2, the dial-in calls. 3, me. So I give them 1 example of a real life quote from a client in each of those 3 areas every day, and an appropriate image that goes with it. And then I say it costs £750 a year, or £600 if you've had your induction call in the last 30 days and join within that 30-day period. So literally we're inviting people to work with us rather than the more subtle sharing of content.
Where could we go to see an example of how you've been doing this? Because I'm not grasping it from your description.
On my Facebook page. I also put it on my profile, everywhere on Facebook.
Okay, cool. All right. So when this comes out next Friday,
yeah,
people might have to scroll back a little bit, but then they'll.
I think if they're regular listeners and people that know me, they'll go, "Oh yes, I've noticed they're doing that."
Yeah. Okay.
Not on my page, but I do it on my profile as well, because I use my profile 100% for marketing. I don't use it for my friends and family.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to go and have a look because I am your friend and I have not noticed it, but
you wouldn't notice it on my page because it does no good at all on my page. The thing is, I started on my page because you can schedule. Last week's a bank holiday week and this week's a bank holiday week, and we're only doing it on business days. So I scheduled 4 on Tuesday for this week, and 2 have gone out. And I only started, although we agreed we do it every business day in April, I only started halfway through the week last week because I was a bit busy at the beginning of the week. My client's doing it only on her page, and I think actually it's not so much the specifics, it's the energy of the invitation.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah.
So it's just be less subtle with your content. Remind people why you are sharing lots of content, which is because I'm a business coach and she's a very specific sort of coach. And we're having fun with that, and people are booking themselves in, and it's the only thing I've done differently, and the only thing that could result. I don't know, to be honest, we don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is, we're both getting better results, and coincidentally, we're also doing this.
Yeah, cool, very nice. Okay, anything else fueled your fire?
No, that's a big thing for me. You tell me about yours.
Well, what's fueled my fire is obviously we know that my lovely VA Patricia is taking a couple of months off because she's had a rough couple of years and 2 small children to look after and a full-time job. We've now decided she's their social media manager. So they sent her off to Lisbon for a course, and now she's having to do it all. So she just had a little bit of a meltdown the other week, and I've just said, look, take 2 or 3 months off as long as you need. Come back to me when you're ready, and you've got everything settled down and bedded in. But that left me with quite a lot of, especially as I've just launched my own podcast, with quite a lot of routine stuff to do. And I'm really not good at routine stuff. I'm great at the creating and momentum building and all that stuff. But when it comes to doing things, it's like my brain goes into dyslexic mode. For example, if I had to do a series of blog posts, and at the beginning of each of those blog posts was a number, and then there was perhaps something else, an identifier of some kind, and then there was the title. If I did 7 to 10 of those blog posts, they'd all end up with different permutations of that. It's like I just simply can't remember or do things in an organised fashion. So Sarah took pity on me when she was watching me trying to do this, and she's taking over the tech for the next couple of months, which is fantastic because I just worry it simply wouldn't get done otherwise. So the moral of the story is I would urge you to outsource bits that you need to do but don't do because of either incompatibility in your personality, or you don't have the tech knowledge to do it. Because you even just finding a general VA in the Philippines for $5 to $10 an hour would make you so much more productive and enable you to do the things that you're good at all day long, like, for example, the stuff you've just been talking about on Facebook.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen if you didn't have time to do it. Yeah. And too many people are just so busy, as we're going to find out in Client Challenge of the Week, that they can't see the wood for the trees. So I've created a little bit of space between my trees again. Well, not me, obviously. Sarah's saving me.
And look, your screensaver is trees today, space between the trees.
Yes. Oh, I must have picked up on that subliminally.
Yeah.
And that's in Chile, Papadou, Chile, but it looks like an English forest, doesn't it?
I don't go in many English forests. I'm very urban, me.
I just had this fantastic vision of you dressed like Little Red Riding Hood, prancing through a forest.
I don't really do forests, no.
Oh, hilarious. That is a Judithism.
You don't really do forests either. I've never seen you in a forest or heard you go, I'm lovely, I'm going jumping in a forest this week.
Well, I have been in forests when the children were young. In fact, my nan was very fond of a forest or two, so as children we were forced to walk through forests on many occasions. Would you like to showcase your business, product or service to between 400 to 600 highly engaged solopreneurs and business owners every week? We can offer a 30-second mid-roll slot and sponsorship branding on our website and in our private Facebook group. Just contact Nicola at nicolacairncross.com for more details. Okay, so let's do Client Challenge of the Week.
All right.
I'm going to have to edit certain bits, so forgive me if I speak a little bit slowly, because I want to be able to edit out for the sake of anonymity.
I think you should speak slowly because it's quite a long and complex challenge. I need for you to speak slowly, and I think the listener will need you to speak slowly.
All right, cool. It's actually quite a common situation, which is why I've chosen it. I've been sending out some emails, which you'll hear about later, and one of the responses was this. Dear Nicola, thanks for your email, one-to-one help with online marketing. We have 3 problems with starting our online marketing. 1, we have no time. We joined your coaching program but haven't had the time to properly look at the videos and other material. 2, we are very busy but don't make much money, although this is partly due to the sectors we work in, art and media. 3, we are computer, social media savvy and know that online marketing might be the way forward for our businesses, but don't have a strategy or how to best start. Now, this person does several things. They are principally an artist and designer, and let me tell you, they are brilliant, totally amazing, blew me away. They sell in the UK and they sell in a Middle Eastern country, and they're also a teacher, and they do private workshops and painting holidays abroad. They also publish a successful local lifestyle magazine. I suppose think Absolute Brighton or something like that. Mm. They know the magazine could do more online, both to generate more income for themselves and also for their advertisers. They know they need a new website and they want to sell more pictures online. So I immediately thought of you because you've got a lot of people in your client base like that. Yeah. And they should be capitalising on a major piece of work that they did in the Middle East, which, I mean, really, my jaw dropped to the floor when I saw it. So they said they've got a few products they've designed. Think, wallpapers and interiors and things that could be turned into silk scarves and stuff like that, and ceramics. And they know they could market those better online. And they know they need, in fact, they are setting up a website for that purpose, but I'm not sure how far
Scroll up a bit. There was a thing there I didn't notice the first time round. We have a guy who is keen to help us move forward with all things digital, but we don't know how best to use him.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. So that's a bit like what you just said about outsourcing stuff.
Yes, it is. And I suspect it's probably a local, web designer or perhaps, someone who is a social media manager or something like that.
And they do know enough to instruct him. We are computer social media savvy.
Yes, but what they don't have is a coherent strategy.
No, they don't. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Okay, so they think I might be able to help organise their thoughts and direct them, and they're not in a position to pay large consultancy fees, and so they do have immense amount of talent. I mean, I sent this over to you. I don't know if you'd had a chance to have a look.
I certainly did, and I also, in the olden days, used to have a client that supplied that sort of thing to the Middle East, and I hope they were extremely well paid for that because they should be.
Yeah, I think it was done through a third party, so possibly not as well paid as they would if they'd gone direct.
Yeah.
But the point is that they're absolutely right. That piece of work should be opening mega doors and mega doors to people with mega money as well. So
yeah.
So I mean, I know what I'm going to suggest, but I would be very interested, to hear about how you would go about rationalising all of that, because there is a lot going on there. And
well, it reminded me of our money gym work, because actually what's funny about it is it says we've got 3 problems, and number 1 and number 2 exactly the same. So actually they've only got 2 problems. 1, we've got no time. 2, we're very busy. They've got to open up some time, or they've got to outsource it. It's quite a simple thing for me. But go down a bit to the bottom where they talk to you about you. Hang on, they say, we think you might be able to organise our thoughts. So how much time, if you had a consultancy session with them just to organise their thoughts, I mean, they could do this on a pay what you want basis.
Yeah, but the thing is that the bigger issue here is that they want help, but they haven't got any money to pay for it, because they say we're very busy, but we don't make much money.
And that's why I'm saying they could pay for it on a donation basis, on a an hour's consultation could organise their thoughts.
Yes, but why would it? Okay, so let's swap around and look at it from my point of view. Why would I do that?
Well, because I love doing that. That's why. Just so that you're asking me what I would do, I would sell them online. I would sell them consultation time. If you don't want to do that, then we'll answer their problem here.
Yeah, well, that's why I wanted to answer the problem here, because I think the actual issues are quite common. I've known a lot of artists who are like this.
I think they're spreading themselves too thinly. They're doing too much.
Yeah, totally. But they presumably do some of the things like the teaching and the magazine because it brings in an income that pays the bills. And
well, they're so busy doing that, they haven't got any time to make more money, have they?
So this is a real catch-22 situation for lots of people.
It is. And we used to have that in the money gym. If people haven't got time or money, you're stuffed.
Yeah, you have to either generate one or the other, don't you?
Yeah, you've got to make one or the other, because if you've got no money, you've got to use your time. And if you've got no time, you've got to use some money.
So what I'd be doing then is, I mean, what I'm going to do is a whole separate thing, because that's down between me and them.
Yeah.
What I would say to someone like this is, where's the low hanging fruit? Where could you make a chunk of money to invest in the infrastructure you need? And I'd also be looking at every single one of their activities and seeing how profitable each one is, and seeing, if, for example, it might be time to sell the magazine.
I agree. I totally agree. I mean, they're spreading themselves far too thinly. What's it you really want to be doing? Let's just get rid of everything else and do that one.
Yeah, and this person is so talented. The thing they should be doing is creating art.
I think that's true, yeah.
Someone else could take that art and leverage the fees for one-off projects like the one we saw. And the other thing is, you could have a business manager type person going out to people like agents who, I used to have a girl at art college I went to art college with, and she used to be much more into textiles than I was. And she used to sell to an agent in New York, and her designs turned into all sorts of things like, silk scarves, carpets, curtains, but the agent looked after it all for her.
This story reminds me, when you showed it to me just half an hour ago, slightly, and I'm not going to mention any names here, of that other man we both talked about in the last week together.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Who's finally had an artistic breakthrough.
Yes, because he's found a way to make
a product. Yes.
Available to more people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And actually, in a way, that's what any artist is trying to achieve, isn't it?
I mean, they could have a real success with an Etsy shop and an Instagram. They've got an Instagram account, but they are not using it properly. They haven't got any hashtags on anything, and they've only got a few followers, and they're only following a few people. But the stuff that he's producing is so stunning. I know it would go really well on Instagram, and I know it would go really well on Pinterest as well. So really, you need someone who's going to be, diligently adding snippets of things to both of those accounts.
Well, maybe that chap, we have a guy who's keen to help us move forward with all things digital. Let's see whether that guy's got any Instagram expertise.
Yeah, and then the other thing is to have is it an Etsy shop where you can put your own designs onto?
Yes, I've never met anybody that made any money out of an Etsy shop, but I'd like to see if somebody makes some money out of an Etsy shop.
I sat next to a chap when I went to Superfast Business Conference last year who was at that time making $70,000 a month from selling little bracelets that were made locally by the Thai people.
And was the key to that how much traffic he's able to send to his Etsy shop?
Yeah, you have to have a selling platform, but then you have to learn how to send traffic to your product. But, if this person did an Instagram account and a Pinterest account, I think that would send monster amounts of traffic to their shop.
They are on Instagram, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're not using it right.
No, because they don't have any time at the moment.
Well, also, they don't know about hashtags. A lot of people don't know about hashtags.
Well, you did say, I did say to you last week, one of these weeks we need to talk Instagram because there's this beginning to be a bit of a theme here about, people getting results from it.
Yeah, well, Instagram is a highly visual medium, and it's also a highly a medium where people love to share inspirational quotes and things. So, it's a feel good. It's sort of a dip into a feel good environment for a little space of time. And whether that's visual or inspirational or just catching up with what your mates are doing in terms of the pictures they're taking, that's what it's all about. But anyway, we'll talk about it another time. So you'd go in and you would get them to examine all their existing business activities and work out which ones to keep and which ones to lose.
I would want to know, what's your monthly target and what is each project contributing to it?
Yeah.
And are there any other wins apart from money from doing A, B, C and D?
Yeah, I think we have to assume that artists do a lot of what they do because they've got a burning talent they can't keep in.
Yeah, and or for the love of it, and not everybody's is wholly motivated by money.
No, totally not. But you still have to, it's still a crying shame if you've got a monster worldwide global talent as this person has.
Yeah,
and they're not earning enough to just spend their time doing what they like.
Well, and you see, in the end, I would want, if this person was a client of mine, I want them to give up everything but that, because the energetic message you send out is, I trust that my central thing, the one that I love, is the best one, and I'm going to put all of my efforts into making that one the one that works.
Yes, because there's the opportunity cost, isn't there? If all the time that they're spending doing other things that are not the central thing, they're not moving the central thing forward as much as it could have been.
I know. And, they could be doing something like sitting on a lot of equity, or somebody's died and left them some money they didn't know what to do with it and they don't spend it. You've got to understand the full...
financial picture.
Well, yes, not even really always exclusively financial, but the whole picture.
Yes, very true. Yes, we've helped a lot of people like that in the Money Gym, didn't we? Where they
and just to get the perspective, are they, perhaps they can't see it because they're so busy, like a couple of very busy mice, aren't they? Going round and round and round and round and round. And you can be proud of the magazine you've created, and you're right. Maybe they could sell it so that they can focus on the thing. They talk about they and we a lot, even though it's written by a man. What does she do? I
don't know is the idea, but I think she probably runs the magazine, but I'm only guessing, so I'd have to find out more about that. Yeah.
Okay. They need to streamline and free up some time, and they need to sit back with somebody like you for a day or half a day or something. Actually, you're not far from them, are you, on the South Coast?
No. But the other thing is I've gone back to them with an idea. But they could have come to me with an idea. And that's the thing I want to bring out of this, is that if you can find people who are not artistic and creative, but who love art and the creative things, if you could find someone who's creative in business and you're creative in your thing, you can often team up. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to sign away your copyrights and things like that. It just means, Rich Sheffrin did this very well. He used to give people a share of the department they ran and worked in and made better. But if they left the company, that was the end of it. So they used to get a good percentage and a good basic. And then if they left, that was the end of it. So I think people are frightened to take on business managers and business development managers because they think they're going to lose, end up in a situation where it might not work out and they might have given away ownership of things. But it doesn't have to be like that. If you can find people who care about what you do and who've got the skills to make it amplify what you do.
Could you send a copy of this to me so I can use it just for my own purposes for the show notes? I'm just going to call this organising our thoughts, because I think that's what they're asking for in the end here, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. They want someone to come in who's got a completely...
Oh, well, I know what they want to do. They want to work on their business for a bit instead of in it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an e-myth thing for anyone who doesn't recognise the quote. Yeah. And I think if you've got someone coming in who's not emotionally involved in it all, then they're probably going to be able to throw light on things that you would never have noticed or never have thought about, perhaps. Yeah, it's a good one, isn't it?
Yes, it is. There's plenty of meat in there because they've got to change some behaviours as well, haven't they? But you've got to start with organising the thoughts and seeing the bigger picture, getting them out of the rat race for an afternoon.
And starting to value themselves, because the very fact that they're not earning what they could be is because they're not valuing themselves.
But actually, if they pursued on the side one big project for him that made a year's money in one go.
Yes, exactly.
They could buy themselves some time to get all the rest of this sorted out.
But it means they'd have to let go of an awful lot that they've been doing for a long time, and that's quite a tough thing to do, isn't it? If you've been teaching,
well, they don't have to let it all go at once.
Ah, good point. Yeah, ease into it.
Yeah, it's a bit like when I was still doing accounting 2 or 3 days a week and coaching 2 or 3 days a week. Once you've matched the income from one from the other, you can drop one. Okay, your income halves, but you've got the other half of the week back to build it up again.
Yes, exactly. Cool. Okay, so more to come on this one. It's an exciting.
It's an interesting one to have, and right up your route because of the artistic thing.
Oh yes.
I can tell you that when I just to reiterate slightly what I said at the beginning, but you're right in as much as the limiter would be that they sold it to a third party. But when I had a client who was selling things to Saudi princes, which is pretty much as what's gone on here because there's a palace involved. It was gold bath taps all the way and money hand over fist.
Yeah. Were the gold bath taps in the palace, or were they in your client's house?
No, they were being shipped to the Middle East. And what you can see from that, quite a big installation.
Yes, very big.
And I think that anybody else in the Middle East who's got a palace or a mosque, once they see that, they're going to want it too, because it's lovely, isn't it?
It's stunning, and I do actually know someone who knows quite a lot of Middle Eastern princes.
Yeah, well, I think that's brilliant, and that a couple of contracts like that, their reality could change quite quickly
overnight.
Yeah,
overnight, exactly. Good. Well, I hope I'm going to send this a link to this recording to them, as well as communicate with them, by email, and hopefully, the ideas will start to flow, and we'll have opened up some thinking points for.
28, marvellous. Okay, shall we whiz on?
Yes, let's whiz on. What's your word of the week?
You go first.
Okay, my word of the week is B-E.
Okay.
That's arisen because I've got a new client in my membership area, the inner circle, who has sent me a nice thing saying, I want to be a singer-songwriter. I've had some success in the past and I've been a mum and now I want to get back to being a singer-songwriter. And I said, so, what are you doing? What have you done so far towards that? And she sent me a link to her YouTube channel and her Instagram and all that stuff. And there was 3 pieces of content on it. So I said, okay, she looks, I've got to tell you, she looks stunning. She would fly on Instagram because she's so beautiful. And I said, so if you want to be a singer-songwriter, you've got to be a singer-songwriter. You've got to be that person every day, because what you've got is a severe lack of content going on here. And she didn't understand what I meant. And I said, well, if you want to be a singer-songwriter, you need to be writing songs, singing them, and then releasing them on social media, because then people will get a chance to share you, find you, love you, and share you again, and that will grow your audience. And the next time you do something, you'll have a bigger audience for it. But also, you're actually being the thing now. You're doing what I call going first. You're being the thing before you. I did it when I was a coach. You have to say you're a coach and be coaching before you're a coach. And then you also said, I recall very vividly, that you want to be a writer. So you started being a writer by blogging. Yeah. No, I think, and Gary Vaynerchuk's just done a video with a new rap artist who's broken through. He's, a surprise viral hit. But that artist was releasing stuff nearly every day on his social media channels. Yeah. Success. And actually, in this day and age, you don't have to wait to be discovered. You can just be doing the thing. You can be self-publishing your own music or your own words or whatever you like. Yeah, exactly. And, with Phoebe as well, she wants to be some sort of social media presenter. And so she's doing her makeup videos and doing social media presenting. You just got to be it. Yeah. be it, and then you'll end up being it.
Yes. Right. Well, then you are it.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, see, that would have been quite a good title for the blog, for the episode, but we've already got one. So
yes, I'm going with organising your thoughts.
Go on then. What's your word of the week?
I'm going with ease, because I've had several conversations with people. Do you remember our most popular edition of the podcast was Addicted to Struggle?
Yes, I do remember it.
And I've had a lot of conversations with people this week who they think if they don't struggle and work hard and push through and force themselves, that anything else is naive and bound to fail, despite the fact that they can point me at and share with me some fantastic examples of other people doing precisely that. So my newsletter on this is going to be on this topic this week, and I might even make it my life's work.
Oh, hang on. Make what life work specifically?
Teaching people that it can be easy. It doesn't have to be a struggle.
Well, that's interesting. And very counterintuitive, which is always good in a life's work.
Yeah, it's not counterintuitive for me anymore. Really, these people that I've caused to see this, the guy that said that what we're doing is very important, there's conditioning from parents and grandparents who went through the First and Second World War. We've been brought up to save butter, papers and string, and that everything is hard to come by and never a borrower and a lender be, and you only get what you want through hard work. And all of this is so deeply ingrained that we can't let ourselves believe the alternative, even when we see other people doing it. And when we look at them, we think they're flakes and they're naive and they're living in trust and abundance, and that can't possibly work. It's a horrible tissue of frailty that's not going to hold up. But they're, oh my word, look, they're doing it. They're making it work. And, you know, I've got a marvellous story to tell in this week's newsletter. I'm not going to tell you now because it will spoil it. But I see my clients show it to me all the time, so I know it's true, and I teach it to other people. And I think, I don't think it's for everybody, but I think it might be for my clients.
Wow. Yeah, I was remembering something my mum used to say when I was younger. She said, you can do anything and be anything and have anything if you only work hard enough for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a grain of truth in that, but I think there's another way of looking at it as well, which is, you know, if you decide you want to be a singer-songwriter, let's say, in that example, she might not have to work hard at it. She might just have to love creating and sharing content. And it's not the same thing. You see, that second one is ease.
Yes, because if you've got a talent for something, you do have to work to develop the talent and make it as good as you can. But that work doesn't have to be onerous work. It can be enjoyable. Yeah. And
we need to get, and actually there's again another overtone to the first part of your client challenge of the week thing, which is we're addicted to the struggle. We're in the struggle. We're so deep in struggle, we can't see our opportunity.
Can't see the wood for the trees. Yes.
Yeah.
That's good then.
Yes. Can you tell us anything about the podcast?
I can tell you something about the podcast, which I didn't know last week, but it happened last week. We've moved up another couple of places on the iTunes What's Hot chart.
Where are we now then?
77, I think. Hold on one second.
I think you did tell us that last week, or did you share it in the week?
No, I shared it afterwards.
Okay.
So the listeners don't know because
we're inching up.
We're inching up the What's Hot chart. So it can only be you lovely listeners sharing us with one person each week. Reviews. I don't know if we've had any. No, I get notified if we get new reviews. Okay, so this is 9 to a line, Judith. Get ready for your mental arithmetic, right?
Okay, yeah.
9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54. Yeah, that's the one I could never get when my mum was drilling me.
63. 72.
There we are. 73, 74, 75, 76, 77. Whereas we've been 79 for a couple of weeks.
Yay.
Before that, we were 80 forever.
Woo.
So we've moved up again. Right, now let's go to Libsyn. I've got. Here's one I prepared earlier.
Oh, lovely.
I know, it's looking good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, where are we?
April, March, February, all time.
Yeah.
March is good.
Yeah, March was above February, and we are...
February's a short month.
Yeah.
2, 7 to 14, 1500 after only 12 days. So 12, that could work.
Anyway.
Yeah. Those last 3 weeks are pretty solid, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. 10-day, gently up.
I think that's significantly up.
Okay, it was only 10 days, so don't get excited.
Yeah, but that's why it's significant, you see. It would be gentle if it was a longer period.
Actually, I've realised what I feel like when I'm reading these out. It's the the weather forecast late at night on Radio 4. What's it called? The shipping
forecast. Yeah.
10 days, gently up. 1 month, gently up.
That is more.
3 months, gently down.
Slightly down.
Yeah. So 1 year, gently up.
Yeah.
The last part of it.
Yeah.
And maximum all time, just holding steady with the odd.
Yeah, but double up. The second year double up on.
Yeah, double up on the year one. Yeah, exactly. So as we like to dwell on the positives, we'll look at the
yes,
that's good one. It's 1 month. I think that's a good one because that's gently up with lots of spikes.
Yeah, lots of nice fat spikes, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the 31st. That's a big spike. And then a solid showing for the rest of the week. Another spike on the 7th. And another spike on the 10th, which is... So those can't be episodes, can they? They must be...
No. I think the middle one is. That's an episode there. 7, isn't it? 8, 9, 10 was Monday. Monday was significant for some reason.
Monday and Tuesday, look. So
Monday the 10th. No, I don't know. Yesterday and the day before. No idea why they were up.
Yeah. This must be very boring.
No, I find that slightly annoying that we can never find out why.
I know.
It's an anomaly with podcasting. You can't find out.
I know, but all you have to do is just keep going.
Yeah, okay.
So up to 77. So a couple of reviews would probably shift that again. Hint.
Okay. Yeah. hint.
Who or what's impressed?
Well, I'm going to tell you, and I know you've heard it on Facebook because I've bragged about it there already, but I'm going to tell you about my youngest nephew, Jeremy, who's 25, whose life passion is and has been for about 15 years golf.
Wow.
And he plays at least 18 holes every weekend, sometimes more than that. And for a large number of years, I don't know how many, let's say 5 or 6, he's been playing in this annual competition as an old boy for his school. And what I like about this annual competition is I can watch the results on the computer and I know how well he's doing. And about 3 weeks ago, I joked with him and I said, you do quite well. You go through the first round, whereas my brother usually plays and his school gets knocked out. You play for your old school. And my brother's school is my school, and we get knocked out in round 1 every year without fail. My brother didn't even play this year because he was trying to encourage them to pick younger people. And Jeremy's school usually goes to about round 1, round 2, round 3, and then some terribly posh public school like Eton knocks them out. And I'd said that to Jeremy, he laughed. Well, they only won this year. They won. And he played 18 holes twice. So 18 holes in the morning and 18 holes in the afternoon on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So you're absolutely exhausted by the time you're winning in the afternoon. And my brother and sister-in-law went down on Friday, and then when Jeremy won the semi-final, they went back down again. It's in Sandwich in Kent. And they beat all of these fantastic schools, and they won. And I'm just so happy for him because, he's very good, but, to get... Well, there you go. There's your 10,000 hours of genius again, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just nice to get the results you deserve after you've been putting your back into it. Now, the exciting news is, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I don't think anybody on my family will ever hear, but what he wants to do for a living is to be an agent for professional golfers. And he is in the process of being interviewed to get a job with one of those big agencies, sporting agencies.
Yeah.
So that's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because if he wants to be an agent, there's no better thing to do than go and learn how to be an agent at a big agent's. Well,
they want to teach him in America. And, these Masters golfing championships, quite a lot of them happen in America. So.
Yeah. There was a big furore, wasn't there, about one of the lady golfers moving apparently moving her ball, but it was picked up by a viewer and not by any of the judges on the course. And they gave her a 4-stroke penalty, which meant that she didn't win. Oh. And it was, everyone was just saying that it was such a bad thing to have done, that to have based their judgment on what a viewer called in.
Well, it's an interesting thing. So I have this debate with my brother a lot because at Wimbledon they have this thing called Hawkeye, where the professionals can challenge the human being's call. and then we look at the slow-mo and we see what is the shot in and out. And they have that now in almost every sport, where you've got this television that can give you a better picture than the umpire can actually see. And I asked my brother when I was over there last, what do you think about this? He says it works spectacularly well at Wimbledon and quite well in a lot of sports. And some sports it's bad because it interrupts play and you can't. And I think that golf decision probably is wrong. Do you think the woman was actually cheating? And was,
No, I think she completely. She picked up her ball. Because they have to pick up their ball so the other players can play.
Yeah.
And then she put it down in a infinitesimally different place.
Okay.
But she did it. It was such a tiny amount. She couldn't get any benefit.
I mean, I think the thing is, this is about professional sport where there's huge prize money at stake. So it's slightly different, isn't it, to the ethos of sport I was brought up with, which is now deeply old-fashioned, which is, it's the taking part that counts. It isn't. It's the winning that counts now. Anyway, tell me who or what has impressed you this week.
There's a Instagram account called Stupor Watch, which is a lady locally who we met actually in a taverna the other night because she follows Sarah's Instagram account, and she just consistently and relentlessly posts stunning pictures of our area. And it's not just the big panoramic pictures that I tend to get swept up in. It's the little tiny minute details of a special orchid by the roadside or a drift of wildflowers it's just a stunning Instagram account. And if anyone's remotely interested in how gorgeous this place is that I live in at the moment, it's a great one to follow. And she doesn't do it for any commercial gain or any marketing gain or anything at all. It's just beautiful pictures of this area for fun.
And how long has she been doing it for, Nicola?
I don't know. I'll have to do a bit of investigating. But I've got to say, every time I spark up my Instagram account, a stunning picture floats past from her.
Yeah.
And like to give her some love on this podcast. She may or may not listen. I'm not sure. Some people do.
Do you know what her first name is?
No, not off the top of my head. You've caught me on the hop there.
All right, okay. Stupor Watch. I mean, there's lots of jokes in Stupor Watch, actually, isn't there? Which is, that's everything's like watching paint dry. But actually, she's giving the lie to that, isn't she? Because with a camera, every small detail is fascinating.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it is, and it's just it makes me love the place even more because she highlights bits I've missed.
Yes, like Daphne's photos as well.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, that was nice. It was a very creative, artistic.
Right now, so tell us a little bit. You're coming home on Saturday.
I'm coming home on Saturday. I'm a little bit. What's the word? Trepidatious.
And we know your plan is to be in the UK and to move around a bit and go to Brisbane. Are you going to Brisbane in June?
Yes, I am. Yes.
And then back to Stupor. What's Sarah's plan?
She is right here, and she would answer because I've heard her say this several times. She doesn't know yet.
Okay.
And she likes to wing it.
Yes.
But we're both going back to the UK and staying for a little while and seeing our kids and hanging out with them. And Heather and Richard are coming out for a drink on Saturday, so it's all going to be a big family reunion on Saturday.
And what's happening in your house that you live in Stupor while you're away? The people who, do you mean the one I'm going into or the one I'm... No, I know what's happening in the one you're going into. The one you're in now, it's the season it's being rented out commercially, is it?
No, not at all. No, it's owned by two ladies from the UK, one of which is a friend of mine, and they just let their friends and family use it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be occupied on and off all through the summer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, nice. And it'd be lovely to see her, and it'd be nice to see her out here as well as at home.
Yes, or she'll be your neighbour occasionally across the summer, won't she? Yeah.
Exactly. All right, lovely. We'll speak to you next week then.
All right, and you'll be in the UK next week?
Yes, I will.
So we'll be meeting at 10 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, that's going to be very... all that adjustment has got to be made. I'm sure I can manage.
Good luck with that. See you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
You've been listening to Nicola Cairncross and Judith Morgan. The podcast is called Own It, Your Business and Your Life. Do come and visit us at ownitthepodcast.com. We'd love to hear your feedback. You can find out more about Judith and visit her on her website at judithmorgan.com, and you can find Nicola at nicolacairncross.com.